Right, so at the moment we've all been waiting for the big box from the UK. I have been waiting patiently for this for a couple of weeks now. And what's in the box? Well, there's an address on this side of it. I won't show this side, but I'll just read the description that's on the packing slip. So it's a plastic toy model of the Johnny 5 from the short circuit films of the 80s. The model comes in a foam-lined carry case, which has a metal edging and a carry handle. Also a box of spares has been supplied. So this is from the UK, as I said, and this is from Shaun, and I'm hoping I'm saying your last name right, Bastin, Shaun Bastin. So how did I come into possession of one of these? Well, he's been a big fan of my Johnny 5s. I've been a big fan of his Johnny 5s. I saw his work on the Input Inc. Facebook group and I contacted him. I had a couple of questions for him. He had a couple of questions about my Johnny 5s. So I said, well, hey, I'll put it out to you. Let's trade Johnny 5s. I'll send you one of mine. You send me one of yours. And that's it. We'll just work off each other. And we'll help each other and determine what we need to do to improve them and just see the difference in them. His are printed on an FDM, mine are printed on a resin printer, so the quality is just going to be completely different from each other. Both models have been done off Sergio's models. We've scaled them down to a 1/6. We both modified them to the correct scale. We've had to modify them to make them stronger, and to the original files are for a 1/3 scale. That's all robotic, so we had to change a lot of stuff in it. So he's done a lot of changing, I've done a lot of changing, and we're just going to combine the two and see what we've done. So enough talking, let's get right into it. Big box, proper labels all over it. Let's just open it up and have a look. Now I'm still working on Shaun's at the moment. It's a bit more work into the resin ones. I believe he just prints these out on an FDM machine and paints a little bit of them, so he kind of envy the fact that he doesn't have to do so much work where I've got to print them all out in resin, clean them all up, sand them all, paint them from ground up, and depending on what people are specified on my models, I can make them talk, articulated, light up eyes and all that sort of stuff. It takes a long time to do. So, bubble wrap. I'm also testing out my new lighting here. I've got one of those little halo sort of iPhone holder lights. So first thing I see is a bag of parts, which I see the case. So we'll just move to the side and we'll show the address on that side. So, big bag of parts he sent me so I can have a look at the difference in FDM, because I don't have one of these printers. So it'll be very interesting to actually see all of the parts. I'll do the same. I'll send him a whole bunch of my parts. I'm actually doing a special one for him. I'm doing a part 1 that'll turn into a part 2. Plus I'm sending him all the punk parts that I've made myself to put on one of his kits. So I'll just open up one of these Ziploc bags and we'll have a quick look at the chest piece, because I'm really interested in seeing the quality of these. Interesting. So I got the silver and the blue on it. That's very, very nice. And the quality is absolutely incredible. So just focus this on. So this is basically his attempt to bribe me in getting an FDM machine. So I probably will after seeing this, because I'm trying to combine, or we both are trying to combine both printing techniques. FDM for the structural parts, resin for the detail parts. I'll have a quick look at some of the pieces really quickly. The track system. which is interesting because you pretty much did it exactly the same way I did it. But you eliminated that part there, which, yeah, I've just recently done that too because it's a waste of time and waste of resin. But very interesting, very good quality. FDM machines have come a long, long way. So these are the sort of parts I'd like to do in FDM and then cover them with the resin parts. So, and it fits very nicely. Okay, well, I'll dig into these later. Give me a whole bunch of track links because both of our goals is to actually have a rolling set of tracks, and resin tracks are not that strong. Well, they are, but so I'll be playing around with these and trying to figure out if we can get the holes to print, which they do and they don't, same as resin. So that's something we'll be working on together and sharing files as we are now, so we can work together on it. So let's just moving on. Thank you for that. Appreciate the extra parts. More bubble wrap. Now we come to the case, which I'm actually really jealous on. I would love to use a case like this to present mine, but because mine are resin, I've had to do mine differently, especially shipping internationally. Resin parts don't like shock in a box, so it doesn't matter how hard you wrap them and in bubble wrap and all that, as soon as the box drops, just the shock of resin can snap. So it's yeah, mine are a little bit difficult to send, especially right now with this COVID bullshit. A lot of shipping companies are just treating packages like crap. So that is the box. Here is the case. I have looked into these cases because I have a really cool idea that I might be sharing with Shaun so he could do it himself, which will just really top off the experience of opening these up. So I think I'm just going to open this up myself and have a little sneaky peek first. Actually, I have two ideas for him when it comes to these cases. So if I just have a look, yeah, all right. So I think we'll just open it up this way. So we have the bubble wrap on top there. Like that. Very nicely presented. There's some bubble, some foam over the top of the pieces. So we'll just move out all these pieces. Now we're really hoping nothing has broken. This is the first time he shipped one to Australia, so I'm really privileged to have one of the first shipped to Australia. So this is more or less a test as well to see if everything made it. So far everything is looking fine. Just keep taking out all these foam bits. We have the nice nameplate, that's very nice. So number 19. Keep going through it. It seems, well, it is slightly larger than mine because this is at 50% scale from Surge's files. Mine printed at 46.8, sorry. So that is the laser, and the laser is fixed to the arm. So that's the laser. Really good detail. I mean, of course you can see all the print lines and all that, but that's just the nature of the printers. I believe the black is painted in a matte black. So the silver is printed in silver and the blue is printed in blue. Very nice. We'll go for the back wheel. The back wheel is considerably larger than what I've got on my ones. Magnetic, it's pretty cool. I went with a screw rather than the magnet, so that's pretty cool that you did something different to me. Wheels don't rotate. Some of mine do rotate. Depends on what people specify. I just have basic kits available, sort of thing. Just a static one, an articulated one, and then I go from all the electronics and stuff like that from that point. Here is the track system. So it's now we both do the track pad separately, so we glue on every single one onto each track pad, which is a pain in the ass to do. Very nice. I'm just wiring that with one of mine. I've got two of mine sitting here right next to it, so I can put it next to each other after. Very nice. And I see that he has changed the back of the is that the files I sent you? It possibly could be. Okay, it's the tracks. Let's put it there. Have I got them in? Okay, so laser and back wheels there. That's the other track system there. It's interesting seeing the difference in print quality compared to resin. Interesting on the strength of the tracks as well. It's pretty strong, to be honest. I think he does it in segments, like a straight segment, and then glues on this round segments and another straight segment. I was doing them individually first with the backing. Now I'm actually able, with this new tough resin, to print the entire tracks as one part and then slip the entire tracks on. Also, I've added a fake battery box under there, like on the real robot, just to support the tracks from pushing upwards. That was just something I had to do because they tended to break in shipment, unfortunately. So that's the tracks. Come to the toolbox. And we got a swivel toolbox. And yes, I've actually printed out his operating opening toolbox, so I will be adding that to his one. So that's pretty cool that he's got the semi sort of open one. It's got the hinge marks on it, but it's not actually an opening one. So I'll be adding his opening one to his robot. That's the toolbox. That's all. Is that painted? No, that's printed. That's pretty cool. Nice red. Let's pull out, there's a little bit of plastic conduit, possibly for the back of the neck. Now we'll pull out the hands. It's interesting to see the hands because my hands are different. I use the input ink hands. These are very similar. So that's just putting over, see if it can focus. The light is really, really bright on this. That's the hand. I think I can take my hands off. It's just, yeah, because I got the magnet system hand, so I'll just close that. So we've both got different hands, so that's pretty interesting. Let's get that bit right. No movement in the wrist there. I've got some movement in the wrist. So we'll be sharing files and stuff like that, and just working together, which is fantastic. That's what I love about the J5 community, is when people actually get along and two artists can actually share files, work and experience, and just work together, and yeah, works out perfect for the both of us. We both benefit. These are magneted as well. I am just realised that too, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, so that's the hands. Okay, now we come to the head, which I will be careful with because the eyebrows are attached to, and I believe they're screwed on. So I'll just close the case so we can have a better look. Okay, so just be careful with them. So they do swivel up and down. They're on a screw, so let's get a better look there. So what I can tell on this is it's all printed. I don't think anything is painted except for the gold and the copper and silver on the top there. Bottom eyebrows are screwed in with some little screws. Little metal pistons there. Got the little lip lights on the front there. There's a bit of wire hanging out the back there. I'm not too sure what that is for. Undo that. That could possibly be for the conduit to go up. I'm guessing that is for the sort of conduit that goes like that. Again, the magnet on the top, just like I've got. Be interesting to see how that sits on there because mine is actually different. So can I take the head off? Yes, I can take the head off. Of course I can take the head off. So here's my head. So as far as scale goes, so I believe mine is more to the scale of a 1/6 scale, going off what one of the Input Inc. members has given me some information on and working off some of the pictures of the life-size Johnny 5. A little bit loose on that one. I'll just have to tighten that up. Basically what I've got on mine, I don't want to break this, when I put it down is, and that's my static one. Oh no, that's my magnet one. Okay, so I've got magnets on there, so mine come off. That's basically so they don't break, same as on the bottom ones, because a lot of people had issues with the eyebrows breaking, so that just eliminates all of that, and they gives you some articulation. So yeah, so interesting to see how we've both done it differently and the size difference. I do like the lenses. He did send me the lenses, so I can add them to mine. The bottoms are basically the same, so it's pretty cool. So that is the head. Put this down. How are we going for time? 18 minutes. Alright. Let's bring out the arms. Now the arms, I have to just pull them out like that, do I? Okay. So that is the arms. Bit of weight to the arms, surprisingly on that. Okay, so that is the arms. These seem a lot heavier than my ones, so I can pull off my ones here. So that's my arms there. And the resin ones, I've got, so that'll be our left and right like that. So let's just connect one of those on. Yes, very nice. I've got the same system there. Very nice. So that is the two arms in comparison. Pretty much the same size. Slightly bigger is slightly bigger. Different at the top here, which is interesting. So that's your pivot point. Okay, so that's going to slot in there where I've done some magnets on there. So yeah, so great to see some different designs going on. Let's continue on with the arm. Let's get the other one out. I'm looking forward to this body because it just looks amazing, especially the way you packed it in there like that. So that's the other arm, so we'll just pop the hand on. I see you got a new little hex head in there. I do like the little detail you got in there as well. I've got some detail in mine. Let's just pull out the body. Just be careful not to... Okay, so this has got some weight to it. So I will just put this down. I don't believe there's anything else in the box. Very cool. So let's put that down there. We'll just move this. So here is the main body. Let's just move this out of the way. So we can get a good look at this body. So what do we got as far as articulation goes? So he's got the, okay, so you put the articulation there. I used to have the articulation there, but I found it wouldn't stay up, so I've just fixed mine in place. For all the new ones I do at the moment. You've got the plastic sort of conduit there as well as I do. The axle is fixed. Yep, okay, I was looking at the back, one in the back. You have the rods at the back. My rods are done in the resin, so mine will actually print. These are actually metal, so that's a really cool touch. So no articulation there. We'll spin it around. That is the front. Side. Now taking a look at what has been printed and what has been painted, and a lot of it has been printed. I think these have been painted, the gold and copper again, but the blues are definitely printed, which is, I hope it's printed. It'd be embarrassing if this was painted because it looks really good. It could be painted. I do see some tape lines there, maybe, possibly. Magnets up here. This is pretty cool because you've actually printed this out. It's interesting where I've used some of this sort of larger conduit sort of thing, which you've used at the back. I think you've used that. You didn't print those out, did you? No. So you printed that out. That's pretty cool because you actually did it rounded there and then it squares up there. So that's nice. Oh, does this articulate? Okay, so this just articulates. Yes. Some of mine, I've actually got this on a magnet system as well, so it can come off. The so you've got the tool arm and the laser, so that snaps on there. Very nice. And it does hold up its own weight. I had to go for a whole bunch of different magnets to find out which one would actually hold up. So you've got the round magnets, where I use square magnets because I found the round magnets would just rotate down on itself. The square magnets would actually hold itself into two positions. So interesting that you've done it with that. We have articulation at the waist there. No, but I know you can do it because I used to do it as well. I used to have articulation at the waist. I had articulation at the torso that would go down, and I also had the neck articulation. Some people, I think about 6 people have that when I first did mine, but I stopped doing that because of the shipping. Shipping became a major issue when it came to shipping these articulated. The more you glue together and the more solid it is, the better it is to ship, unfortunately. So okay, so we've got they turn around that way. I like these. You've beefed these up nicely. You do have the screw in holding the collar there, so you could possibly have all this articulated. I mean, of course you can. This looks good. Okay, so let's put this together. Oh, you've got a solid block in here. That's interesting. I've got all mine opened up. I left mine opened up so I can run all the wiring down there. I believe you're working on something here. I won't spoil it for anybody. This panel here, I always put my buttons up here, and I've got a talking one over there so I can show all the buttons where I do the buttons. That's a great panel to put all the buttons. I do have a lot of extra input ink files that I've added to mine, which of course I'll be sharing with you. So let's put this together. So we'll grab this track system, this track system. I would love, mine are fixed to the caddy at the moment, but I would love to put some magnets in here and there so it'll just snap together, which make shipping a lot better as far as mine, or just packing it. So that's pretty cool how it snaps in place like that. Back wheel. The back wheel, because it's magnet, I wonder how strong that is. And that's probably why you added that, because you've got a little bit of a shock absorber in there, because it does come off a little bit, which is cool. That's fine. I mean, this is more of a display piece. I mean, you know, I'm not going to see too many kids playing with this sort of thing, but that's cool how that's probably why you've added that, a bit of a shock absorber on that. It's definitely bigger than mine, for my scale anyway. So let's add the arms. So they just slot in there. The first ones I did the same sort of design where the arms would slot into these fittings, so they fit in nicely. And they move up and out. Arms move. So basically you've got all the articulation that I've got at the moment. Yes. We put the head on, so I believe this will go up here. Okay, so it's interesting how you've done the head too. You just got a magnet that's flush there and a magnet that's flush there, where I've got a magnet set down and the magnet protrudes out, so it actually locks in place. So let's just put that there. That goes like that. Like I said, that one's a little bit loose. I just have to. As far as shipping goes, yeah, you did a great job on packing it. Nothing broke, so great job on that. I think you'll be very pleased with that. You've added the extra wire there, which I was going to do now that I see how you've done it. And yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the wire's behind the hand. Why didn't I think of that? Okay. So we've got the laser there. Now, does the laser... Now, laser doesn't particularly go down into the firing position, which is the kind of same issue I had as well. And that's kind of why you need that articulation at the waist, so he can lean forward to get that laser parallel. No biggie. Do I have it on mine? Yes, I do, because the position I did, I had to lean him forward, so I fiddle around with the position. Now, as you can see, the position is slightly up. He's facing slightly up. Oh, okay, so there is the issue with the round magnets. That's why I went the square magnets, which is cool. Hey, this is all a learning experience. Nobody's perfect. It's just a little tiny screw stuck to that magnet. Must have been from something, but yeah, this is why I had to go to the so the magnet, the laser's obviously heavier than the toolbox. I had the same issue, which is fine. But yeah, on my models, I had to fiddle around with the position of him quite a lot because of this laser. So, and he's looking up a little bit. But other than that, it's a fantastic model. Put that up. So So that goes like that, and this will go up on my shelf with the rest of mine, so this will be top shelf right over there. Pride and joy. This is the first FDM print I have, and what better print than to get Shaun's. I'm very privileged to be able to do a trade like this. We'll just bring him over to one of mine. So this is the articulated one, and I'll just show you the difference. I mean, this is not a video about whose is better or anything like that. This is just two artists trading art and learning from each other. It's the best way to do things. So that's the two right there. My laser's on a magnet system, so I can interchange the laser and the toolbox without changing the laser arm, but it's pretty cool that you added the lasers. What I'm going to be doing is the part 1 versions have different arms and a different laser arm, and then you can change the arms and the toolbox to the part 2 arms and the part 2 laser arm with the toolbox. So that is the front view. So he's about that much higher, so in tallness he's not that bad actually. But and if we just go move this over here, so can we bring this out here? Okay, will that do there? Maybe I'll move it forward a bit there. So as far as what I was talking about, the laser is a bit better. I mean, I couldn't move him down a little bit. I wanted to give him a little bit of height as well, but keeping that head parallel with the neck block. So the neck block is kind of parallel where Shaun's is. Oh, interesting that I can't lift the laser, but I'm sure you can. So we'll just tilt that down, just looking up a little bit, which is fine, you know. As far as articulation goes, we both have the arms. Let's get this into frame. Both have the arms articulating that way. Whoops. We both have the forearms. We both have the hands rotating. I have the extra articulation in the wrist where it goes up and down. The arms go out that way, so you know, say have big hug sort of thing. You do have the swivel back wheel. On this particular model I don't, but on another one I do. Actually on your one you do. That as far as that one goes, so that is an articulated one, and I don't think I did anything different on this one. This is a talking one. Oh, this is the one I was going to show you the buttons on. So I had to do a lot of modifications on this. So this is actually removable. So that's your little micro USB plug there to get into it. That's the only way I could really do it. So that clips on there, and this particular one is all your buttons here. So you've got a separate battery pack for the lights and the lip lights. You've got the button for the vocals. Just turn that off, and then you've got a separate switch for the lights and lip lights and eyes. So main battery, separate on and off switch to separate the power from the battery, and separate toolboxes as well. So that's for just a shipping purpose. It does swivel up as well. I do have Shaun's opening toolbox at the moment, and I was messing around with it yesterday with some micro servos in it, and Carlos's camera, Polaroid camera. So possibly the camera is going to pop out in a flash, but we'll see maybe next year. A lot of good stuff coming up next year, a lot of exciting new stuff. So yeah, that's the two J5, so a resin one and an FDM one. Two very good models. Great ideas in both models. Fantastic files from Sergio to begin with. And yeah, Just smooth up all the eyebrows, both models. But yeah, extremely impressed by the print quality of these printers these days, so I'll definitely be looking into getting one. Let's take a look, see at the backs of them. So yeah, go back. Alright, so I'm gonna stop it here because I'm gonna have a bit of a play with these and see exactly what I can do with this guy. Yeah, very impressed. Great packaging, impressive presentation, impressive print quality. Great guy to deal with, just very easygoing. And yeah, very privileged to be one of the first people to have one in Australia.